Hello vlog family. It's Monday. I just finished filming the intro and outro for the spray paint t-shirt. I'm so frustrated with how this turned out because the detail is so good, but the black just faded so much. Like, I'm so frustrated. So that video is going up this Wednesday, which for you guys will have been last Wednesday. I'm really hoping some people comment and give suggestions as to what we can try to avoid the color fading like that, because cutting out that black took like 5 hours. It took such a long time to get that level of detail, and then for it to just fade so badly. If that had been like a year's worth of wear, fine, cool, great. But that was literally the first wash. Yesterday, we went over to our friend Holly and Alpha's house for a pool party because they had their pool set up. So that was really fun. It was very like impromptu, sudden, spur of the moment. She texted me and she goes, "Hey, you guys wanna come over for a pool party and cookout?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure, when?" And she's like, "Haha, now." And we were like, "Okay." We ended up going to the store and getting watermelon and bringing it home, cutting it up, and then we changed into our swimsuits and went over. And that was a lot of fun, but I did get some sun there. My little sister was there as well, and she is very, very pregnant. I don't think I actually said that at all on any of my videos since she got pregnant, but she is actually due 2 days before when I was initially due. She is due, her due date is June 26th. So it's, as of right now, as I'm recording this clip, that's in like 4 days. So she is very pregnant. She was starting to feel some pains after being in the water, and we think it's because of like the pressure and stuff. So I might have a new niece really soon, which is very exciting. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I didn't pull out the camera because I still feel weird vlogging in front of people that I don't know are really like okay with me filming. And also we were all in swimsuits, and that's also just kind of weird, like recording people in swimsuits. So I didn't, and it was totally fine because I still had a fantastic time without documenting it on the internet. It's possible, I know, it's crazy. I was checking the front porch because Dan and I invested in a grill/smoker. So for the state recipe series that I have on this channel, which at this point I think I've posted 6 or 7 of those state recipe videos already, I'm trying to cook a different food to represent every one of the 50 states. And in doing that, I've tried different methods of cooking that I've never tried before. I've cooked different foods that I've never tried before and ate foods that I've never eaten before. So it's been a really cool experience, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for Texas. And you guys are getting a bit of a sneak peek into what's coming up in the state recipe videos. I was looking around at what foods to cook that like really embody Texas well. And I was looking, and most everywhere I saw was brisket. And I thought, okay, so I was looking up how to cook brisket. And if you want to be as authentic as possible, you have to smoke it. And I thought, I've never smoked anything before. Neither has Dan. This sounds like I'm talking about drugs. I'm not. I'm talking about a way of cooking food. Dan and I have never used a smoker before. Dan has always wanted to so badly. So we decided to invest in a smoker. While we were out grocery shopping like 2 weeks ago, we were looking at what like Walmart and Menards and Home Depot and things like that had to offer. And Dan at, I think it was Menards, he found a charcoal grill that had like a smoker box attached to it. And the price of it wasn't too bad. It was like close to $200, I think. We were like, okay, this is something we can look into potentially getting. But Dan was like, I want to look online to see if anywhere else has something similar for cheaper. So we were looking online, and Dan found on Dick's Sporting Goods website basically the exact same smoker and grill for like $150 or something like that. I'll put a link to it in the description if they're still available. When we were buying them, it had the little pop-up that said only 9 available, like left or something like that. So I don't know if they're still going to be in stock or not, but I'll put a link to the one that we bought in case anybody's interested. But we decided to get it because also Dan really likes using charcoal grills, which is why we went for that. This grill, the pictures that it was showing online was showing that you can have like a whole rack of ribs and 2 chickens, like whole chickens on there, and you can do burgers and you can do brats and you can do like a pork shoulder all at the same time. Like it's decent sized. And the biggest grill we had prior to this was like a square portable one that we had bought when we were in Charlotte because we couldn't have anything very big. So Dan is very excited about having this grill smoker combo, and it's supposed to be coming today, which is why I keep checking the porch because I don't want it to just be sitting out there. We're going to start planning for hopefully smoking some food next week because, again, with the state recipes, part of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not reasoning. What is the word I'm looking for? Part of the, not the deciding factor, part of the excuse. No, it's gonna bother me. I need to think of this word. What is the word I am looking for? Does anybody watching know what word I'm thinking of? It's like it gives you a better reason to buy the thing. Like it's not an excuse. It's not the reasoning for it. It's, oh gosh, what is that word? Justifying it. That's what it was. Part of the justification behind buying this was the fact that I wanted to smoke a brisket to be as authentic as possible for the state recipe. I couldn't justify fully getting a smoker for just that one state recipe. Like, I'm not spending $150 for one meal and that is it. That is ridiculous and it's not happening. But because Dan also has been wanting one for a long time and we've already thought of a ton of different foods that we could make using this grill smoker combo, and it's a grill which Dan cooks out all the time, so we know it'll get a lot of views. That helped justify purchasing this. We are going to have to make some other stuff before the brisket first because beef brisket is apparently not very forgiving in the smoker. So I don't want to try cooking that first and ruin it because we didn't know what we were doing. So we're going to smoke a couple other things first and then we will do the brisket. That's very exciting. That's what's going on right now. As soon as it gets here, I'll show you guys, but it's very exciting. And now what I'm going to work on is the potential, for me, a little more exciting, honestly. And that is Mom wanted to get Disney Plus. So I'm going to work on putting it on the TV, and then I might just binge Disney movies for the rest of the day because that kind of sounds like the best day ever. Look at it! Now I just have to try to get it in. Look at our brand new fancy schmancy grill and smoker. I can't even get it all on my camera. My goodness, there we go. Look at it. We just finished putting it together. So basically, oh, Dan's gonna pull it out.
Like I want to take it for a walk.
So this is the smoker box, and then it has a hole right there you can see that opens into the grill. And look at all that room on that grill.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's fantastic.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Roast a whole person on there. Okay, so my friend Amanda and I are both big Harry Potter fans. No surprise. For Christmas last year, I had this fantastic idea to get her a Howler. I thought, I'm going to make this from scratch. So I went online and I bought one of these talking cards off of Amazon that you can get for I think it's $15. It's not cheap, but you can record your own messages on here. So I bought one and I thought, I'm going to look online, find a way to make my own Howler, and put it in the card so when you open it, I can record a message of me screaming the Howler message. And it'll be hilarious and perfect and, unique. I bought the card for Christmas, and then timing ended up working out. I don't exactly remember what happened, but I wasn't able to give it to her for Christmas, or I didn't make it in time or something. So then I thought, oh, her birthday is 2 days after mine in April. I'll give it to her for her birthday. Coronavirus happened. So here we are, coming on the end of June, and we're going over to their house tomorrow to see them, which is why I could show this on the vlog. And I'm gonna finally give it to her, and I am so proud of how it turned out. So proud. So, actually, Dan, would you be willing to hold the camera for me? Dan also hasn't heard it. He's seen the Howler, but he's not heard the message. Yeah,
There we go.
Okay, turn the card on, because you can turn it on and off and preserve battery. So this is the front of it. So it has Ron Weasley's address, and then you open it.
Ronald Weasley, how dare you steal that car? I am absolutely disgusted. Your father is now facing an inquiry at work, and it's entirely your fault. If you put another toe out of line, we'll bring you straight home. Oh, and Ginny, dear, congratulations on making Gryffindor. Your father and I are so proud.
I love it.
You got the voice down.
Isn't it fantastic?
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so then the message is actually written in there. And I mean, when it's folded up, it gets kind of like all wonky when the letter's closed, but then you can like display it open like that, and it looks really cool. Like complete with the tongue sticking out and all that. So I am like, look at how cool that looks. So I'm very excited with how it turned out. So I'm gonna be giving it to her tomorrow as like a late birthday, very late Christmas present. And I hope that she loves it, because if she doesn't, I'll just keep it for myself because I love it.
So, yeah. So all the white stuff that's still burning out is still the newspaper.
Okay.
Underneath.
Okay.
So it takes a while, but everything holds up really, really well.
Cool.
So yeah, so it's going, and I think it takes about 20 minutes
Okay.
or so. Relatively soon here, I should be able to just take that and just dump it right in, and the coals will start doing their thing.
Okay.
And then what I have here, okay, this is the hickory smoked bratwurst
Does it
tonight.
smell?
Yeah.
Ooh,
So-
that smells good.
Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do in this case, since we don't have a log in there to be able to try and keep warm, to get it warmed up beforehand, we're gonna put these in here. Now, mind you, I've never done this before, so I'm learning.
Neither have I. This is all new to us.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put that there, so that,
Okay. So we're using about that much.
right, so this in here going to gradually get warm, so that once the chips are warm, they'll be ready to go in the fire and they won't produce the wrong type of smoke.
Oh.
That, yeah, you want the wood, or wood chips in this case, from what I hear, to be warmer, so that once it goes on, you're getting this sort of smoke that has the flavor penetrates the meat, and it's not just all billowy.
Yeah.
You don't want
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, we put this together yesterday, right? And then Dan was watching videos to try to see like how to like properly smoke things. And one of the videos that he was watching was like, obviously you want to run it and kind of smoke all of the unwanted things from it being brand new and never used before out. So that's what we were doing. But then he thought, since we're gonna be already like getting everything hot and starting to smell, like why not experiment a little bit? So he bought brats. So we're going to like let it smoke for a bit to try to get all of the unwanted stuff burned off. And then we're gonna cook some brats and try smoking brats and see how that goes. So this is all experimental because neither one of us have ever used a smoker before, like Dan said. But we're excited to try. So if you have any tips, like if you use smokers and you have any tips, please let us know because we're noobs.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Woo, buddy.
Check that out. So,
Very nice.
oh, those worked marvelously. Oh man, I never do without this.
We bought welder gloves so that Dan wasn't, setting himself on fire. So it's okay that he's touching this coals.
Yeah. So let that cool down.
And do we want to close that lid now?
Yep. So close that.
Ooh, yeah, and then all the smoke comes out of the hole that's right there.
Mm-hmm. So leave that there.
Then we close that.
Mm-hmm. And
Open
this
that.
open. Yep.
And there's the smoke coming out of there. Now it's also coming out of this end, but that's okay. And that end a little. That should still be okay. So that says It's 86 and rising. That hasn't registered yet because it has to 150 looks like the minimal. That'll be interesting to see. And we brought this out because another video that Dan was watching said to get a second like thermometer to basically gauge how accurate this is. So that's why we have this on there heating up, but then we also have this because we know this is pretty accurate to see if they line up, to make sure that the one on the grill is accurate, so we aren't basing everything off of that and it be like 10-15 degrees off or something. So that's what that is. But very cool. Look at that. Look at all that smoke.
Yeah.
This is a really cool learning experience. So I was saying that this, like we had this out to test this. This is definitely so inaccurate, and apparently they're known for being really inaccurate. So if you have a grill or whatever and you base it off of that, you're gonna have a bad time. But what we did, I was looking up online, and what we did was we took a big like wad of aluminum foil and put it around the probe end part so that it had about like an inch sticking out, or like an inch and a half sticking out of it. And we put that on top of the grill, the grill slats.
The grate.
Grate.
That's the gridiron.
The grate is the word I was looking for. Thank you. We put it on top of the grate so that it's accurate as to where the meat will be sitting. And Dan just brought out our brats and found out very quickly that this side of the grill, which is right next to the smoker, is obviously much hotter than this side. So we have it over here because Dan just added more coals because it wasn't getting hot enough. And it's currently at 270, 280 and climbing, still some actually. For the grill, or for the brats, it's supposed to be 240 at its highest. So we're just gonna let this keep burning off for a while because it needs to do that anyway. And when it finally drops down to 240, then we can start dropping the brats on there and actually then start getting those cooking. But this is a cool learning experience.
I like it.
I'm enjoying this a lot.
I don't know when we should go.
These are incredible. They're so good.
Mm.
They only took like an hour instead of the 2 hours that we thought they would take because we had them on the higher end of the range that it said. But oh my gosh, they're so good.
Excellent.
Look at how beautiful they are.
As far as the smokiness of it, I think it's right where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you can definitely taste it. It's not overpowering. You can still get the flavor of the brat.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, the sear on it's good. Okay.
So our next like 40 meals are gonna be smoked. I've got a niece. It happened very quickly. So they will be home today, which is very exciting. I am going to actually work on making some crackers. I have this recipe. I have some sourdough starter in the fridge that I got from my sister-in-law Allison, and I need to use it, or I need to feed it. Probably, use it. I've never cooked with sourdough before, so I was texting her asking like tips and what she recommends and how do I feed it and what do I feed it, because I have no idea. And so she told me what to do and everything. So I'm going to make some sourdough crackers, which she said was actually a really easy recipe, like for a first try. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully it turns out well. I also have this starter in here that I got from my friend Holly, but this is not sourdough starter. This is Amish friendship bread. So basically with that, all I have to do is mush the bag for a few days, and then on day 6, I add flour, sugar, milk, and mush it up. And then I keep mushing until day 10, and then I divide it, and I give some of it away to other people to repeat that process, and I keep some for myself to bake for a big loaf of bread. So I'm gonna be trying that pretty soon too. Though I actually need to make sure I'm not gonna be out of town. I don't think I'll be. We're going to Indiana next week to see family. I'm working on sourdough bread today. So, or crackers? If you're making a cracker out of sourdough starter, can it still be called bread? Can you still say I'm making sourdough bread if you're making a cracker? Do crackers count as bread? I don't know. But I'm making sourdough crackers. So I'm gonna work on that. Hopefully it comes out good. All right, this is how the crackers turned out. I think, oh yeah, they're crackerish. Ooh, and some of them even stuck together like crackers. I don't know, that's what crackers do. We got the very outsides got really nice and crispy. They're probably thicker than what they should be, but I couldn't roll them out anymore. I was honestly afraid that I was doing it wrong and I messed it up in the beginning. So I'm glad that they look like crackers. I'm gonna let them cool some because I just took them out of the oven, and then I'm gonna try them. And hopefully they taste okay. I put oregano in them. And some of them I put little X's on, and some of them are most of them are just diagonals, but there's a few that are like special with X's. Okay, I literally just shut the camera off and turned it back on, but I want to try one now because they're warm, and why wouldn't you eat them when they're warm? Okay. I can eat that. Okay, cool. Now I am curious about some of these pieces that stayed really thin. Like this little guy. This little guy stayed pretty thin. That's borderline burnt. It's still really good though. Cool. I just made my own homemade sourdough crackers. That was supposed to be a high five. Alright, I'm gonna end the vlog for this week. I just finished editing last week's vlog, and I'm gonna get all of that stuff scheduled and uploaded, but we have a nice little thunder boomer on our hands again today, which is great. It was very much downpouring earlier, and it's let up some, so my mom is going to head over to my sister's house to spend some time with her and the baby. And I'm just gonna hang out here and edit and things. So I hope you guys have had a good week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!